This is Ben Leo tonight, only on GB News. Big question tonight. Should the UK be preparing for a water crisis? Environment Secretary Steve Reed has issued a stark warning. He says without urgent action to boost the country's water supply, Britons might soon be sharing baths and relying on bottled water. Reed says the lack of investment could lead to water rationing as early as the 2030s. He's currently calling for red tape to be slashed to make way for 9 new reservoirs to avoid this looming crisis. So, would you share a bath to save the planet? I'm joined now by Just Stop Oil activist Dr Bing Jones and political commentator Jess Gill. Good evening to you both. Thank you for your company. Dr Bing, what's your take on this?
Well, hi there, and hi there to your listeners on this Sunday night. Yeah, look, this is... I'd like to talk about a jolly story about sharing baths, but this is the old thing, isn't it? There are two stories here. The first story is that everything's okay as long as we make a profit. These water companies have been making massive, massive profits. But the second story is the truth, which is my story, which is backed up by the science, which is that we have to save the planet. And the planet is incredibly hot, and the only way to save it, the single thing we have to do, is to stop burning oil, coal and gas. But here, in terms of the water companies, we've just got to look at this. The water companies have been paying £5.7 billion a year in dividends to their stock people, and they have built not one reservoir in 37 years. Yeah. So worshipping profit has ruined our environment, and it's ruined the lives of ordinary people who depend on water. Yep. We've got to decide.
I agree with you.
Are we looking at the truth or the profit?
Yeah, they've been polluting our waterways, our sea, you know, and making untold profit going on to offshore investors. Jess, what's your take on this?
I'm sorry, but I'm fed up of the British public repeatedly, again and again, being punished for the sake of this crazy environmentalist agenda by eco-fanatics like the person I'm debating against. I think it's honestly such a luxury belief. These boomers who think that they have this this monopoly on climate policy, on climate radicalism, and they say they speak for young people as well. I think it's absolutely ridiculous.
Does Dr Bing speak for you, Jess?
Absolutely not, and I don't think he speaks for the most of young people. I think if you look at Just Stop Oil protests, Extinction Rebellion protests, it's actually mostly old people, quite frankly. They have to put the young people at the front of the line. And I hate this demonisation of these companies who are fulfilling a demand. I'm not saying they're perfect, not at all, but after all, they are fulfilling a necessary demand of water, of energy, and I don't think they should be demonised. If we want to demonise someone, we should look at China or India, who emits way more emissions than the UK does.
That's a fair point, Dr Bing, is it not?
Those are a whole series of completely unfair points. The fanatics are the people who are making profits at the expense of your children, Ben. You've got small children, I've got small grandchildren. I'm a retired doctor. I spent my life watching people dying unnecessarily because they didn't realise how bad their situation was until it was too late. The whole world is in that situation. We're just ignoring the science, which is irrefutable. Every single scientist who's not paid by the fossil fuel industry or their friends says exactly the same thing. We've got to reduce emissions by 10% a year straight away.
Sorry to interject. There's the old saying that 99% of climate scientists also agree they don't want to be defunded. So who is studying this research? And also, can I just another question for you, Dr. Bing, if you don't mind? We've heard warning after warning for decade after decade. Some decades ago, Dr. David Viner, you might be familiar with him, he was saying children in the UK won't know what snow is by the year 2000. There have been so many on the front of Time magazine. We were meant to be having a Siberian climate in London by now. There's been so many warnings. So the question is, when we have wolf being cried so often, how do you expect anything to be different now? Why should people believe you or believe the scientists?
Ben, if somebody comes and asks for my advice and I see something on an X-ray and I think that is pretty much certain death, then they can go and listen to anybody they like down the pub who says, oh, you're probably all right. But the fact is that if you don't listen to the science is absolutely clear.
So this time it's right. So they made mistakes previously, but this time it's right. Is that correct?
The people who are paid to support the fossil fuel industry will tell lies. And the big lie, which is being fed to the government, fed through the media, fed through stations such as this, which are funded by the fossil fuel industry. The lie is that everything's all right. Everything is not all right. There is no water for us. Barcelona has been rationing water now for several years. Southern Spain, businesses are going bankrupt. In California, those wildfires in a few days burnt $200 billion. That's the cost of the NHS. We're in trouble.
I'm going to give Jess the last word.
Children are in trouble. We've got to act.
OK, Doctor. Jess, last word to you. We're running out of time, unfortunately.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but if you want to look at the harm that's being caused, look at the families who have to choose between heating or eating because of policies which these climate change advocates are trying to recommend. OK, great. Dr. Bingham, thank you.
That's completely wrong.
Yep.
The cost of inaction is much greater than the cost of action.
OK, got it. Thank you, Dr. Bing. Thank you, Jess, Gill. Appreciate your company. Right, very interesting.